Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video kind of comparing and contrasting the Aero Hunter Kestrel and the Tethrd Mantis. These are probably the two most popular saddles on the market right now, and I know there's a lot of people just getting into saddle hunting and they're kind of confused. Which one do I go with? What are the advantages of each? So in this short video, I just wanted to kind of compare them. I have two other videos that are more in-depth, detailed videos about each saddle. So you can go ahead and check those ones out if you want more details about the individual saddles. But let me just give you an overview here. On the left here, we have the Tethrd Mantis. On my left, I guess, the Tethrd Mantis. This is a large. They come in medium, large, and extra large. And then over here we have the Aero Hunter Kestrel. This is a size 1. They make a size 1 and a size 2. I'll just mention the saddles are very similar sizes. They're both almost exactly the same length from bridge loop to bridge loop. They're both about 32.5 inches. They both have the same amount of fabric regarding the width. So from here down to the end, they are both 23 inches. The only difference really in the size of the seat between the two, the Tethrd from top to bottom when it just lays flat is 14 inches. On the Aero Hunter, from top to bottom when it's laid flat, it's 13 inches. The other big difference that you'll notice if you were to compare them side by side is that the Aero Hunter is made up of 4 different pieces of fabric that are sewn together. And so it has a little bit more, and I hope you can see that, but it's a little bit more cupped. The Tethrd Mantis uses mesh for the seat, and it's just one big continuous piece, so it is not as cupped. That may make a difference, may not. You will have to try them out and see. Both have rows of moly webbing on the back so that you can attach pouches and different things. The Aero Hunter Kestrel has 2 rows and the Tethrd Mantis just has 1. I don't know that that's a huge difference. Personally, I think that 1 is just fine. They both have very nice lineman's belts. Belt loops rather. The Aero Hunter Kestrel one, it's just really nice and it's really stiff. It stays open quite well, but it is a little bit small. So when you're in the dark and trying to do that, especially if you're not wearing a headlamp, you might have to fiddle around to make sure that you got it in. Over here, you can see that the Tethrd Mantis, 2 differences I want to point out. It is a much bigger loop, probably 2 or 3 times the size, and it sits further forward on the bridge loops. You can see here it is basically at the end of the seat of the saddle, right near the bridge loop, whereas the Aero Hunter is set back from the edge of the saddle a little bit further. So they come a little bit farther on your hips, makes them quite easy to clip in and out of. Another thing I want to point out to you, the Tethrd Mantis comes with a bridge pre-tied on it. This is a 30-inch bridge made of Amsteel blue. So when you get the saddle, you're going to have to step through the bridge before you put it on. The Aero Hunter comes with a bridge that's made out of Samson Predator, and it comes quite long. I think when I first bought it, it was a 42-inch bridge, but it's very easy to just untie the knot, retie it to whatever length you would like. I think right now I've got it set on 28 inches. It's a little bit bulkier, much heavier. You'll see it's got a figure 8 tied down here, and then a halyard hitch down here, I believe is the name of that knot, as well as it uses a carabiner. So you're talking a lot of extra weight on the bridge of the Aero Hunter as opposed to the bridge on the Tethrd Mantis. Another difference that I want to point out to you, when you get the Aero Hunter Kestrel, the lineman's belt comes tied into one of the lineman's loops. Now, you could untie it and use a carabiner if you wanted to, but that's the way it comes from the factory. The Tethrd Mantis, if you buy their lineman's belt, it does not come attached to the saddle. And so you've got 2 options. You can either girth hitch it and leave it on, because their lineman's belt comes with a 2-inch eye. So you could feed it through itself on the lineman's belt and leave it attached on one side, or you use 2 carabiners to attach it. So that's a difference to keep in mind. Another difference I want to point out is the buckle. The buckle on the Aero Hunter Kestrel is a Cobra style buckle. Big buckle, 2-inch, I think this is 1.5 webbing and an 1.5 buckle. Heavy duty, very easy to clip on and off, works well, just positive controls. But once again, you're dealing with a little bit of extra weight. Also, while we're at it, let me point out the leg straps. You'll notice where they connect. They connect right underneath the bridge loop. And so they kind of come on a diagonal across your legs. Decent sized buckles as well. Somewhat heavy. It is nice that Aero Hunter has kind of included a little strap keeper to keep the excess webbing for your leg straps tied up. Great feature. You'll notice on the Tethrd Mantis, their waist buckle much smaller. It is an ADF Raptor, and I believe that Aero Hunter is going to be switching over to this buckle. I believe they just announced that on their Facebook. But clips in real easy. It's a little bit harder to undo. I could see this giving me problems with gloves on, but it's a lightweight buckle. Works very, very well. It's adjustable on both sides, so that's kind of nice. Whereas the Aero Hunter, it is more fixed. Not that you couldn't move it, but this one's just a little bit easier. Let me point out to you the leg straps. They also connect right at the bottom of the saddle, but they have little G-hooks that they use to connect instead of buckles. So right there, you're saving a lot of weight. Tethrd has made 2 different hookup points. So you can hook up right here on the back side, and to hook it up, you basically just run it through there and pull it tight. It works really, really good. So if you were to hook it there on kind of the bottom side of the saddle, the strap winds up coming pretty straight across your thigh there. The other option is to hook it up on the waist buckle, and if you do that, it comes up probably at just a slightly steeper angle up the inside of your leg than the Aero Hunter Kestrel does. So big weight savings there. Unfortunately, Tethrd did not include a webbing keeper like Aero Hunter did, so you may wind up with a lot of excess, and you'll have to figure out a way to kind of tie those down. But the biggest difference between the two, and I'll put up some pictures with some weights, is the weight. This Tethrd Mantis, this size large, with the saddle, weighs I think 17.2 or 17.3 ounces, so it is quite light. The Aero Hunter, I think weighs 2 pounds and 15 ounces, something like that. So with the bridge, we wanted to compare apples to apples, so it's quite a bit heavier, 2 pounds 15 ounces. So that's probably the biggest difference that you'll notice between the 2 saddles. Both have very well constructed and stiff bridge loops, so I think you'll be pleased with that. The stitching on both of them is very, very good, and both are comfortable. You know, just like any saddle, you got to get in it and you got to play around with the adjustments and the height of your tether on the tree, and sometimes even your bridge length to get it comfortable for you and your style of hunting, whether you be a sitter or a leaner. But both are very, very well constructed saddles. I've been pleased with both of them, but they are different. You know, this is more of a minimalistic style, and that one is not so much, but it's extremely comfortable. I hunted with it all last fall, and I'm excited to get this one in the woods. So I hope that little compare and contrast is helpful to you. Try not to keep it too long, but good luck this fall as you're out there hunting. And if you're first getting into saddle hunting, don't be afraid to give it a whirl. Play around with your saddle on the ground, fuss with the adjustments in your yard, and it'll make your hunt much more enjoyable. Good luck this fall.